Hello there folks, SeKo Starcraft back with some games from the Red Bull Battlegrounds Finals. We have got Golden versus Bomber. Just trying to remember which map this was. I don't remember if I watched this game or if I watched any games on this map. This sure is a different map. Regardless, this is part of the group stages. Bomber has been one of the tip-top players right now in the world. His series in this particular tournament were actually fantastic. He's going up against Golden. I believe this might have been one of the last games he played. He was retiring in this tournament. And I don't remember which was the last series. Essentially, it was when he got knocked out. And I don't remember if that was the case here or not. This was a really funky map where the lava actually raises in. And so it's kind of a cheeky, fun map. I don't think it'll ever make it into hardcore tournaments because those cheeky little things aren't the way you generally play the game. Are all the expansions on the high ground then? We'll have to check and see if any of the expansions get hit by the lava, because that's part of the problem. I mean, that's really cool when you're playing Terran and you can lift up. But if you're playing against anything else and you can't, then it doesn't really work out as well for you there. Is this a high... this... My mind is just... I need more beers. That's what's going on. That's what I need. Anywho, we have a barracks first. Do we have a gas? We have no gas, so it's probably going to be a 1 Rax expand. Golden on this side here is going to be going for his expansion. Which, this isn't a high ground thing here. This is just a small wall. These rocks are just in place to make sure that people don't put supply depots or pylons and then completely F you in the A. And then you've got another little ramp over here. So it's kind of funky. Micro ramp, bigger ramp. Most people could probably fill up this big ramp anyways. Even a Terran player might just need a bunker and they'd have a full wall. As I predicted, this should be for him to be able to go for this. No, it's not to go for command center just yet. He had the money. Getting that orbital down is pretty important. Gas started on this side, and we'll see if that's just to be able to stay safe or if he's got some other aspirations. There's only 1 gas, so I think it's probably going to be for speed. Just a great little thing to have out early in the game. Keeps you safe, gives you some map position, a little bit of map control. I wonder if these players had a lot of chance to learn on this map before using it. We see that there's already an attack going on against these rocks. Because Golden was retiring, I don't know if some of these maps are just kind of funky, have fun maps, and not really that serious. There's some good money in this tournament, so I couldn't imagine they'd be putting in too many maps that just wouldn't be easy to play on. This reminds me of some old Brood War maps where they're trying to break things down to these really, really big bridges. You see a lot of old school Dragoon battles that would happen on there. Those people, shout out to Broodlord. Ooh, 3 racks. Should be able to deny any scouting with a couple of Marines there. Overlord's in a good spot. And because I don't know this map very well, it looks like it's pretty easy to get on everything. Red Bull Battlegrounds. Shout out. A handful of lings coming down. 8 lings actually. Speed is on the way, and more lings and more lings. And this is actually interesting. It looks like it will actually be essentially a 2 hatch all in. He's not going to drone off of this hatch. This is just to give him a bit more production out of this.
Imminent. Evacuate low ground immediately.
Does he know about this low ground thing? If he loses all these Zerglings, what does that... Where are... I think the low grounds... Ooh. And the lava only lasts 10 seconds. Interesting. It looks cool, though. Looks like there is a way to get between most of the bases, almost all the way, before that. This is a pretty funky little all-in here. Speed is now finished with the Zerglings. They are now rallying across the map. And there's only a handful of Marines out. This is actually pretty intense. That engineering bay is not going to do... Oh, wow. The bunker is finished, but I don't think there's going to be anybody that's going to be able to get into it right now. All the SCVs are off the line to fight, which is going to be really tough on them. It looks like they're doing okay. Oh, he did block it with the engineering bay. That's pretty fortunate for him. Let's look at the units count here. The Zerg has a slight lead in workers, but because there are 2 bases down with orbitals, and there's people mining over here, he could get that SCV. It's out on the wrong side. Kind of surprised we don't just have another baneling bust here. Maybe we'll see one here in a moment. Doing what damage he can. Back at home, he is droning up now. He did manage to keep this base off, killed a lot of workers. If we go to the worker count, he's got himself a little bit of a lead. Has another queen on the way. Terran does scout to see that, yeah, I'm behind. I'm not that far behind, but I'm fairly far behind. The good news for him is he does have 3 barracks making right now. Doesn't have his stim pack finish. I thought that's maybe he's doing, but combat shields will allow him to be a little bit more effective more quickly. That's kind of cute. Might be able to sneak behind there, but he could potentially lose a lot of Zerglings. I think he should be able to snipe that one SCV, but maybe not worth the risk right now. How much hit points is this? 645. Yeah, so going for some form of bust on there. Ooh, maybe he will. He's got 1 baneling. That might just be to scare his opponent, because I don't really think he's going to be able to get too much done with a baneling. So it might just be trying to scare him that there's more coming. Burrow would be pretty sick. This is going to come over here, deny this command center for a little bit. Oh, 1 more hit. Just sacrifice 1 ling. Just pecking away, just doing a little bit of damage here and there. It's not a ton of marines. Look at the spread back here, though. I think that Bomber did take the bait in thinking that this would be for another baneling bust, but behind this we can see that the Zerg player is actually just expanding and continuing to macro up. He's got a bit of a lead on the workers. It's not massive. Roach Warren on the way, so might be going for all-in part 2. Which wouldn't be necessarily a terrible idea. Doesn't have great tech out at this point in time. It's kind of a funky map. Though the lava raising clearly isn't going to have too big of an effect on anything in particular. I like all that. That's such a sweet spread.
Evacuate low ground immediately.
Almost a perfect spread. I don't think it kills creep tumors, does it? If it kills creep tumors, that would be... It does not. That is kind of cute. I didn't realize that was the case. So, Marines got combat shields. Tim's actually going to be done here pretty quick. Lots and lots of Marines in production. The tech for Bomber isn't necessarily that good. He does have his upgrades going, which is always handy. But his factory is just going down now, so it'll be a while before medevacs actually pop out. So it looks like he is just going to prepare for a second round of all-ins. Are those banelings being made right in vision? Yes, they are. Well, let's just see this from Bomber's perspective here. He knows what's coming. Bunkers are on the way. Big pile of units. Marauders. And he has some Widow Mines in production as well.
Base is under attack.
Pretty good spread on all these Marines here. The roaches coming in are actually going to deal quite a bit of damage. Oh, he got supply blocked from knocking down that wall. That's pretty crappy. Now that all of the banelings are gone, the Marines can stim in. And wow, with the Marauders, that was pretty effective. Let's go back to everybody now. Now, there's no medevacs on the way, so these units, whatever damage they take, they keep. Yeah, this looks like he wants to push out right now, which I can't blame him. I mean, this is a pretty strong army. But every stim just makes us that much weaker. So Golden might be able to hold this off, particularly as Bomber is still quite supply blocked. Coming up here and poking away at this wall would have been pretty cute to do with those as well. Lots and lots of banelings. There's one Widow Mine in here. Didn't get the best hits, but it looks like this base is gonna... Oh, those banelings did not get the hits they needed. He will get the cancel on his base. These units are so beat up though, but they do have +1. Whereas the Zerg player right now has no upgrades. Just a big pile of Zerglings could wipe that out, and that would do him really good. If some medevacs get out and heal up this army, then that's a lot of money worth of stuff that's essentially just going to be right back on the table again. Doesn't salvage his bunkers yet. Doesn't really know what's going to come back at him here. I think if he went for these units, he might actually be able to get in some damage on them. They put themselves in the corner though. Best place to be. We'll see if they actually squeeze home here in a moment. These units could probably come down and protect them. They should be able to get out of there. But it's difficult to really think that you're safe. That's also something you can do to help out a little bit. He didn't pick them all up, but I assume he will here pretty soon. Third base back on production again. And now if we look at the units, I'm sure that the Zerg player, yeah, he's not really had that much in economy. Terran player is going to throw down another command center. I guess they are familiar with this map if they know about putting buildings back there. Kind of a funky spot. Does pick everything else back up. Medevacs are at home.
Evacuate low ground immediately.
You got anything on the low ground? This one Zergling's probably going to get fried. Yeah. Looks like he almost lost these guys here, but maybe he's just keeping on the edge. I liked on the maps in the one-player version where it actually kept a kill count when that happened. +1 armor is just about to finish up. This is going to be a great timing here for Bomer, as the upgrades of the Zerg player really haven't kicked in at all. Well, he does pick up, he saves most of his units and snipes the hatch. It's very nice. There isn't much room back behind this mineral line here. Zerg player's got a bit of a supply block going on right now. Is he going for a counter? Might just be. We're going to see if he can pull off the base trade, but I don't know if it's going to work. Oh, that was a pretty big Widow Mine shot right there. Widow Mine's in the back. There's no detection in here, so eventually these Widow Mines are just going to keep paying dividends. I did a pretty nice snipe with some Widow Mines. Oh, there's his detection. But back behind, I mean, he sacked another hatch for that, so I mean, it's hard to say that it's necessarily worth it. But he was kind of all in. Did get a few worker kills there. If we look at the total, slight lead, but I think this is going to be pretty much the end right now. Try and keep it in there. He's going to do what he can, but this drop's still doing damage back at home. Drones and Queens actually clean it up, surprisingly. How many units is he down to, though? 17 workers to 43. So he's either going to have to win with this bit of stuff or not. And there's the GG. Funky game, funky map. But it shows the strength of Bomer to be able to deal with what was a really good baneling bust all in. But he just had the answer to it. SeKo Starcraft, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll talk with you later.